chosen one. A gesture lasting only a few breaths, one you may barely remember, revealed more clearly than any words what exists in the deepest part of you. Perhaps you instinctively reached out to catch something that was about to fall, stepped aside for someone in a hurry, bent down to help a person amid a crowd, or spoke a gentle word. At the exact moment, another heart stood on the edge of being wounded. You did not calculate, prepare, or have time to ask what the action might bring you. Everything happened so quickly and seemed so ordinary that you continued with your day without preserving the memory. But I saw that moment. I saw kindness step out of you, before reason could weigh the cost, before fear of disadvantage could restrain you, and before the ego could ask whether anyone would notice. Within those few unplanned seconds, your true nature appeared without needing a covering. You often assume that what brings joy to heaven must be a magnificent act, a sacrifice known by many people, or an achievement great enough to be remembered. Therefore, when you hear that one of your small actions carried meaning, you immediately doubt it and assume the message must be intended for someone else. You think of courageous people standing before danger, people giving away great possessions, or people rescuing entire communities. Then you look at yourself and see nothing remarkable. But, my child, I do not look only at the size of an action, I look at the source from which it was born. A great gift may still be given in pursuit of recognition, while one small word of kindness may be entirely pure because it was spoken without any expectation of return. What is precious is not always found in what the whole world can see. Sometimes it is found in the quiet choice of someone who still decides to do good when no one is standing nearby to applaud. Throughout the years behind you, you were sometimes wounded precisely because of this tenderness. You helped and were taken for granted. You trusted and were betrayed. You spent time listening. Yet, when you needed a shoulder, the room became empty. These experiences caused you to accuse yourself of being too trusting, too sensitive, or too generous toward people who did not know how to appreciate you. Many times, you promised yourself that you would become colder, stop caring, and never again allow anyone to reach the gentle part within you. Yet when a moment came without time for preparation, you still chose to help rather than turn away. After everything that wounded you, your natural response was still not cruelty. This is what I want you to recognize. Your wounds may have made you cautious, but they did not turn you into someone who lost compassion. Darkness touched your life, but it did not gain the authority to rewrite who you are. Do not force yourself to remember the exact day, hour, or person who stood before you during those few seconds. Numbers are only a frame that helps you pay attention. They are not the heart of what I am teaching. What matters is that you understand how identity is revealed most clearly in moments when there is no time to perform. When a person has enough time to think, they can select beautiful words to protect their image. But when something happens suddenly, the first response often rises from the deepest place. In that moment, support rose from within you. You do not need others to call you good. Your own reflex bore witness. This does not mean you are perfect or have never acted selfishly. It means that amid your shortcomings, a genuine light is still living within you. And that light is stronger than the way you usually judge yourself. There is kindness that passes through careful thought, and that is still valuable. You may plan how to help. Consider your ability. Choose the right time, and give with wisdom. Yet there is another, deeper form of compassion that appears before you can construct any strategy. It resembles a stream encountering dry land and naturally finding a way toward it without being commanded or promised a reward. It is the moment when you see someone struggling and your hands move before your mind can form a question. It is when you hear trembling in another person's voice and immediately soften your own tone so that they feel safe. It is when you could embarrass someone, but instead choose to protect their dignity. Such actions do not display power, but they reveal harmony between what you believe and the person you are truly becoming. Yet I do not want these words to make you believe that you must give without limits in order to prove that you are compassionate. Genuine kindness does not require you to remain in a place that continually insults your dignity. Nor does it demand that you carry the responsibilities of those who deliberately avoid their own part. You can be generous and still close a door. You can forgive without returning to a relationship that has repeatedly caused harm. You can support someone who is weak without permitting them to turn your kindness into an endless supply for irresponsible choices. I want the tenderness within you to be protected by wisdom. Precious water needs banks so that it does not overflow and disappear without purpose. In the same way, compassion needs boundaries so that it can continue to give life instead of turning you into someone exhausted and quietly bitter. What happened during those few seconds also reminds you that your purpose does not necessarily exist only within the great accomplishments you continue dreaming about. Perhaps you keep waiting for a wide stage, a special opportunity, or a spectacular sign before believing that your life has meaning. Yet, much healing is carried through people who never realize whom they are healing. One sentence from you may have prevented someone from continuing to condemn themselves. One non-judgmental look may have helped someone feel that they were still worthy of respect. One small act of patience may have been the only thing that helped another person survive the darkest day of their life. You do not need to see the entire result in order to believe that what you planted carries value. A seed makes no sound when it falls into the soil, but its silence does not mean that life has not begun. I also want you to turn that compassion toward yourself, because you often give others what you refuse to offer yourself. When someone else stumbles, you remind them that they can begin again. But when you make a mistake, you condemn yourself with harsh words. You give others time to recover, yet demand that you become strong immediately. You listen to their pain, but try to silence the exhaustion crying out within you. My child, purity is not revealed only through the way you treat people outside yourself. It is also found in the way you care for your own vulnerable places. Practice speaking to yourself with the voice you use to strengthen someone you love. Correct what is wrong without trampling upon your worth. Rest without calling yourself weak. And continue walking without forcing yourself to deny what once caused you pain. You have not been awakened so that you may consider yourself greater than others. If kindness makes you proud, it will gradually lose its original purity. You are being reminded of that action so that you may understand the responsibility of the gift you carry, not so that you may demand admiration. Continue doing good without turning your deeds into a list of achievements. Help quietly whenever possible. Speak in defense of someone being treated unjustly. And remain humble when others thank you. Goodness does not need to introduce itself continually. A lamp only needs to burn in the proper place. It does not have to announce that it is shining. The more aware you become of the light within you, the more simply and sincerely you must live. Remembering that every gift is given for service rather than to build a throne for the ego. Therefore, chosen one, stop dismissing the beautiful moments that have flowed naturally from you. What occurred within a few breaths revealed that you are not defined by failures, seasons of weakness, or the judgments others placed upon your life. In the deepest part of you, you still possess the ability to recognize pain and answer it with gentleness. Protect this quality, nurture it through wisdom, and allow it to become a sustainable way of life. You do not need to wait until you possess more money, greater influence, or complete perfection before bringing light into the world. That light already stepped out of you during one of the most ordinary moments. I saw it. I rejoiced. And today I remind you so that you may also recognize the goodness you have not yet learned to value. Continue with a tender heart and clear eyes, with hands ready to support and boundaries strong enough to protect you. Because this union will help your compassion not merely flash for one moment, but become a source of peace throughout the long journey ahead. What you did 9 days ago was not as insignificant as you believed, because in that moment I saw the original goodness within you speak before reason had time to consider anything. You may have viewed it as a passing action, an ordinary gesture amid a tiring day. But I want you to understand that certain things that appear small to you carry great weight in the spiritual realm. This is not because of the material value of what you gave, nor because anyone witnessed it, but because it arose from a pure place where compassion did not need persuasion and generosity demanded no reward. That origin made your action a milestone. It lifted the covering long enough for you to see the genuine person living within you, someone who does not turn away from another person's hardship, even while carrying many burdens of their own. I know how tired you were that day. Your mind was neither empty nor peaceful. Unresolved numbers continued weighing upon your nights. There were expenses to consider, responsibilities that could not be delayed, and questions about tomorrow that returned even when you tried to put them aside. I also saw the loneliness you hid behind your strength, because others had become accustomed to believing that you were always fine, always knew what to do, and always possessed enough strength to support everyone. Few people asked whether you were becoming empty. Few recognized that you also needed somewhere to lean. Yet while you yourself needed support, life placed before you another person who was quietly struggling. It was not a dramatic scene. No crowd gathered to observe, and no praise was waiting. It was simply a need that could easily have been overlooked. A moment most people might have passed while telling themselves it had nothing to do with them. But you did not walk past it, before fear could remind you that you also lacked something, before reason could calculate whether you should preserve everything for yourself. You acted. The help came from you so quickly that you barely recognized it. You did not conduct an internal debate about whether the person deserved assistance. You did not measure whether the action would benefit you. You did not look around to make sure anyone was watching. You simply saw someone in difficulty, and a very genuine part of you responded immediately. It lasted only a few seconds, but those seconds revealed more than hundreds of words you had used to describe yourself. When people have no time to arrange an image, what exists deeply within them reveals itself. What appeared in you was not indifference, but compassion. Perhaps what you offered was very small. You may only have helped someone lift a burden, shared a limited amount, or offered a sincere smile while you yourself had almost no strength remaining. Yet I do not evaluate actions according to the measurements commonly used by people. I look at the purity of the intention, the natural movement of mercy, and the fact that you did not allow difficult circumstances to make your heart cold. Many people are kind only when they possess abundance, generous only when it causes no inconvenience, and willing to step forward only when they know they will be recognized. But your goodness appeared while you were lacking, weary, and without any guarantee that tomorrow would become easier. This is what made the small gesture precious. You did not give from your excess, you shared from a heart that still knew how to respond amid barren days. Imagine a small flower growing in a place where people rarely walk. It does not ask whether anyone will stop to smell its fragrance. It does not withhold its scent because it fears having nothing left for tomorrow. It simply releases fragrance because that quality was placed within its nature. Genuine kindness is the same. It does not bargain, record achievements, or turn the receiver into a debtor. It simply answers suffering with compassion. 9 days ago, you acted like that flower. You did not try to become a good person, you simply allowed the goodness within you to appear freely. I want you to recognize this because for far too long, you have defined yourself through your failures, deficiencias, and the times when you did not feel strong enough. Yet, there are very brief moments that reveal you more clearly than all the years of doubt. The change that occurred was not a transaction in which you gave and immediately received a reward. I do not want you to turn compassion into a formula for obtaining what you desire. The change was deeper. It took place in the way you were seen and in the way you were beginning to see yourself. That moment proved that difficult seasons had not stolen your capacity to love. Debt had not made you selfish. Loneliness had not made you closed. Being overlooked had not taught you to overlook others. What tried to harden you had not succeeded. On the contrary, under pressure, compassion remained alive, responsive, and strong enough to guide your hands before fear had an opportunity to restrain them. My beloved, this is rare in a world where many people have been forced to build so many layers of defense. Some see suffering and look away because they fear becoming involved. Some recognize a need, but delay until the moment passes. Some help only when doing so improves their image. I do not say this so that you will place yourself above anyone, because kindness loses its purity when it becomes a reason for pride. I only want you to value the gift within you and learn how to protect it. Do not allow the bitterness of others to make you ashamed of being tender-hearted. Do not let those who exploited your kindness convince you that the only way to remain safe is to become cold. You need wisdom, boundaries, and the ability to say no. But you do not need to exchange gentleness in order to become strong. Therefore, understand that compassion does not mean you must rescue everyone or give until you are completely depleted. What I praise within you is not blind sacrifice, but the ability to recognize a genuine need and respond freely. You must still learn the difference between helping and carrying another person's burden, between loving and allowing someone to use your kindness. An open heart also needs a door that knows when to close. If you fail to protect yourself, kindness may gradually become exhaustion, and exhaustion may eventually become resentment. I do not want this to happen. I want you to remain someone who gives, but to give with wisdom, order, and peace, so that every action arises from love rather than guilt or the fear of rejection. The action from 9 days ago also reminds you that you are not as poor as your present circumstances may try to make you believe. Your account may not contain abundance. Your time may be limited, and your strength may be low, but you still possess resources no number can measure: attention, presence, compassion, encouraging words, and hands ready to help at the right time. A truly wealthy person is not only someone who possesses many things to give, but someone who preserves a generous heart while life remains difficult. You demonstrated that kind of wealth. When you learn to manage it with wisdom, it will open roads that power, fame, and calculation could never create. I want you to remember that moment, not for boasting, but as evidence whenever you begin doubting your worth. When the old voice tells you that you are selfish, useless, or incapable of making a difference, remember that during a very heavy day, your first response was still to help. When you believe the trials have made you unfamiliar with goodness, remember that within only a few seconds, compassion found a way through all the noise. When you fear that you have lost your direction, remember that your hands recognized the road of love before your mind understood it. This was not a perfect action or a great achievement, but it was a clear trace, revealing that the pure part within you remains intact. Therefore, stop dismissing the small acts of goodness you have done. Some doors of healing are opened through one sincere question. Some people are kept from despair through one timely expression of concern. Some days that appear meaningless become turning points because someone decided not to look away. You may never fully know what your gesture created within the receiver, but you do not need to know for the action to have value. I saw it, and more importantly, it gave you a glimpse of the person you are becoming. Continue walking with this kindness, but do not forget to reserve some of it for yourself. Support others, but also allow yourself to receive support. Open your heart to need, but do not surrender it to exploitation. When gentleness and wisdom walk together, you will become a lasting source of peace within a fractured world. What you did 9 days ago ended within a few seconds, but its meaning did not end there. It declared that pressure had not taken away your compassion. Scarcity had not imprisoned you within selfishness, and dark days had not extinguished the light placed within you. This is the milestone I want you to carry, not a statement that you are above others, but a humble awareness that you remain capable of bringing goodness into a difficult moment. Trust that part of yourself, nurture it, protect it, and allow it to mature. When someone carrying great weight still chooses to become relief for another person, the entire realm of light recognizes that darkness has not conquered that heart. Understand that the years of exhaustion, confusion, and unnamed heaviness do not prove that you are weak. They show that you have lived for too long in a state of continually sensing, observing, and quietly standing guard over things others did not recognize. There were days when you awakened with a heavy body, even though you had done nothing physically demanding the day before. You examined your schedule, tried to find a logical explanation, and then blamed yourself for becoming exhausted so quickly. I want you to stop that condemnation. Not every form of weariness comes from work performed with your hands. Some burdens arise because your mind has never truly rested, because your heart continually receives emotions from the people around you, and because something deep within is always trying to recognize what is happening before it is spoken aloud. You became accustomed to being the person who sensed a change in the room before anyone else noticed, recognized a distance forming before someone admitted it, and heard uneasiness hidden beneath ordinary words. This sensitivity helped you protect many people. But unless you learn to put it down, it may also cause you to live as though you have never left the night watch. I know you have often entered a place feeling normal. Yet, after only a short time, your energy fell as though an invisible cloud had settled upon your shoulders. You wondered whether you were too sensitive or imagining things. Yet something within you knew that certain environments caused you to become tense and watchful. Someone did not need to express anger for you to sense it. Another person smiled while carrying coldness. And you noticed before understanding why. Some conversations appeared simple, yet after leaving, you felt empty, because you had not only heard the words, but unconsciously carried the unresolved emotions of the other person. My child, the ability to sense is not a flaw, but you must learn that recognizing something does not mean you must carry it. You can see someone else's sadness without making it your own. You can discern a heavy atmosphere without allowing it to remain within you for the rest of the day. Maturity does not mean becoming unable to feel. It means knowing what should be brought into prayer, what should be released, and what does not belong to your responsibility. There were nights when you lay still but could not sleep, looking into the darkness above you, while an unexplained restlessness arose within. No clear event had occurred, yet you felt as though you were waiting for something. Your mind began searching for a cause, reviewing every conversation, every glance, and every possible outcome. The more you tried to explain it, the greater the tension became. But I do not want you immediately to call every sleepless night a frightening sign. Nor do I want you to dismiss what you feel. Sometimes it is simply your inner being asking for quietness, warning that you have absorbed too much noise and need to return to peaceful presence. Instead of trying to interpret every feeling, learn to bring it before me. You do not need to understand everything that is happening before you can pray. One simple statement, I surrender what I do not understand, is enough to open a door to peace. Not every night requires an explanation. Some nights require only that you permit yourself to be protected. At times, during an ordinary day, you suddenly feel urged to pray for a person or situation you had not been thinking about. You do not know what to say or why that person's name has appeared so clearly. Do not dismiss such moments, but do not turn them into a burden that forces you to discover some crisis. Respond sincerely, gently, and without panic. You can ask for protection, clarity, and peace, and then continue with your work. Genuine prayer does not need to be built from terror. I do not guide you through chaos, nor do I want you to live continually expecting disaster. When a reminder comes, do your part and place the outcome in my hands. You are a participant in love, not someone responsible for controlling everything taking place in the world. If you treat every feeling as an urgent command, you will soon become empty. But when you know how to receive, pray, and release, sensitivity becomes a gift rather than a yoke. I have also seen the times when you were overwhelmed by too many thoughts. Yet, as soon as you called out, unexpected peace entered. The problems did not disappear, and the questions remained unanswered. But suddenly, there was enough space within you to breathe. This was not merely a temporary distraction from pressure. It was the moment when you stopped trying to stand alone and returned to the source of peace that had always been near. When you reconnect with me, you no longer need to hold everything through your own strength. Your heart remembers that it was not created to carry the entire world. Your mind is reminded that not everything must be resolved in a single night. Your body receives the message that it may relax, because the battle does not rest entirely upon your shoulders. Therefore, do not wait until you are completely exhausted before seeking stillness. Return each day, even when everything appears well, so that your inner life does not continually move between fullness and emptiness. You need to learn a new rhythm of life in which intercession is not separated from rest. Discernment does not become excessive vigilance, and compassion does not lead you to lose yourself. Some people possess sensitive hearts but do not understand boundaries, so they turn every pain they see into a personal responsibility. They attempt to heal everyone, reconcile every conflict, and stand in the middle of every battle, then wonder why their strength continually disappears. I have not called you to prevent the entire world from collapsing. I entrust you with one portion during one season, with enough grace for that portion. When the responsibility is complete, you must know how to return. Close the door upon the noise, and permit yourself to rest. Rest is not abandoning the calling, it is how you protect your ability to keep answering that calling throughout a long journey. Pay attention to the simple signals of your body. When your shoulders become tight, your breathing grows shallow, your head feels heavy, or your emotions become fragile. Do not merely force yourself to try harder. Pause. Drink water. Step outside. Breathe slowly, and remain still for several minutes. This care does not diminish your spiritual depth. On the contrary, it reveals that you know how to value the vessel carrying precious things. I do not want you to use spiritual language to cover exhaustion while continuing to neglect yourself. Sometimes you need to pray, but sometimes you need to sleep. Sometimes you need to listen in silence, but sometimes you need to speak with someone trustworthy. At times, heaviness is reduced through quietness, while at other times you may need professional support to understand what your body and emotions are experiencing. Wisdom does not oppose faith. It is part of the protection given to you.